I'm not banned, am I? Uh-oh. Oh my God. Oh no, well, I'm not banned. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. We back. Are we back? Yeah, okay. Internet's back. We're reconnected. Russia's in your wires, dude. Are we good? Okay, connection seems stabilized. Okay, yep. All right, I think we're back. Let's get back to the video.
They certainly will.
Not my gaming
France
collection.
24's Emmanuel Shaz is keeping an eye on this story for us from Kyiv. She has more now on reaction from there.
This authorization, this reported authorization, has not been confirmed by Washington. It has not been confirmed here in Kyiv, with Volodymyr Zelensky saying that missiles will speak for themselves for obvious security reasons, and so as to preserve any success that could happen with the use of such long-range missiles. We're very unlikely to hear any comment on when or if or where those missiles will be used. That being
right. So this is from 48 hours ago. So it's, you know, we've already had Ukraine using ATACMS. It's already happened. This red line that, you know, all the apologists and Moscow is making a big deal about, oh, red line, here we go. We're going to fire the nukes next. Yeah, it's already been crossed. And he's done jack shit. Because of course he has. Look, you push the Whopper button, okay? And you no longer get to run the store. I'm sorry. RL, I'm a fan of Red Letter Media. But no, you push the nuke button and you're no longer president of Russia. Okay? You're now president of a slag heap. And oh, they don't care. They don't care. They're monsters. They're crazy. He's crazy. He's Hitler. Oh, really? Really? How many mistresses did Hitler have? The guy wasn't even fucking his wife. You know why he was 100% totally dedicated to the fucking, you know, Nazi cause. Same with Stalin, same with Mao. Now Mao was a little bit more different. He had mistresses. But he sacrificed. What I'm saying is these extremists were sacrificing. They sacrificed everything. They were fanatics. Irrational. Okay? Putin is not, no. He's not like that. A fanatic, would a fanatic have hundreds of billions of dollars just sitting around, right? Would a fanatic care? Right? If you know, why not give that to the state? Why not, you know, give that, you know, make some, ammo for the, you know, was Stalin a billionaire when he died? You know what I mean? I don't know what Mao's financial status was, you know, Hitler as well, you know, the whole argument hinges on Putin being an irrational actor willing to sacrifice everything. Put it all on NVIDIA. Even after the apocalypse, NVIDIA will still be making incredible money.
Being said, we can see already what kind of results we can expect when Ukraine uses long-range weaponry against Russia. Ukraine has already struck deep into Russia, for example, on oil refineries, on ammunition depots, on concentrations of equipment or military personnel using long-range drones that Ukraine has manufactured itself. And for that, it doesn't need Western authorization, because Ukraine has agency over its own weaponry and over how it uses it for its defense. That being said, having long-range Western weaponry, such as long-range missiles, will...
I mean, look, I'm no Stalin fan. I'm not a Marxist. I'm a democratic socialist, okay? I think he's a fucking evil bastard, okay? But the guy was a fanatic. He would he'd pass out on the couch. And, you know, in between reading sessions, you know, of his fucking, you know, ideology and theory and everything. You know, do we think Putin is, you know, he's such a hardcore fanatic, you know, he doesn't even have time for, you know, for anybody else. Like he wouldn't even sleep in a bedroom. He would just like pass out on the couch reading. right? And then wake up and, oh, I got to kill more people. I got to, more pogroms, more pogroms. Okay, hold on. Give me my list. Oh, I just realized you got to kill these 17 people right here. Here you go. Guy was a fucking fanatic, right? And if he had nuclear weapons, if he had the power that Moscow had, he'd be using it.
Prove probably to be an advantage for Ukraine, even if Russia has been preparing itself for its use and has also taken steps to protect its equipment, protect its sensitive sites from such attacks. So only in the coming weeks, in the coming months, will we see just how efficient, just how effective such long-range missiles can be on Russian territory.
Yeah, so a little boring, a little dry, but that was covered in a way that wasn't, that
the Kremlin's accused.
That was, news, right? I'm not taking an opinion here, but this Russian narrative about, red lines, here it is. Here's some historical context. I know I talked over that quite a bit, so I don't have time to read every one of these articles for you here, but we're just going to do some headlines here. Russia is locking up butter as inflation crisis reaches new heights. I just wanted, because I was talking earlier about how, Russia is on its knees. Military completely crippled. Putin totally fucking desperate. Economy on the verge. China on its, they have to, China considering, okay, do we continue to help? Do we continue to help? North Koreans coming in to get slaughtered. And what's Trump going to do? Trump could see this as a massive opportunity, not to destroy Russia, but to put Russia in its place and make clear the dominant currency, right? It's not going to be a fucking ruble. It's not going to be a yuan. It's going to be the dollar. But no. What do we hear? What do we hear from Trump? What do we hear from Trump? Well, we're going to give up. We're going to make a deal, and all the people in his orbit. Oh, we're going to save money. Oh, taxpayers' money, as if that money is going to go back to the fucking taxpayer. Oh, here's your Ukraine check. Here you go, because you let Putin win in Ukraine. Here's your $100 check, dumbass. You're not going to see a fucking dime of that, as mentioned in the fucking chat, or maybe in the Discord earlier. We're giving Ukraine our old stock. The money is actually being spent in America to refill the stocks. Oh, we're sending $50 billion. We're literally sending $50 billion to American companies to make more artillery shells to make up for the ones that we just sent. So here we have Russia, just ready to be beheaded, on its knees, ready for the lopping. And Donald Trump, oh, I'll help you, Putin. I'll help you, princess. Come here. I'm going to come. So it's likely Russia sabotaged an internet cable. I don't know why not sabotage a more important one. This obviously is an important one. But is this a trial run? I'm not quite sure why this was cut and not something more critical to U.S. or British, German infrastructure, right? Any of the countries that are providing support for Ukraine right now. Critical undersea internet cable severed amid fears of Russian sabotage. Welcome back, Bert, our Muppet friend. Incidents happened in the vicinity of the Swedish island of Gotland in the Baltic Sea on Monday. Okay. Oh yeah, Telegraph. That's what we got to do. I got to sign up to read. Yeah, is that what I have to do? No. Fix your shit. Okay? Monetize your shit with advertising. Okay? I'm not signing up. I'm obsessed with news. I'm not signing up to a newspaper. I'm not. I'd rather get the articles out of a Reddit comment section than sign up for your fucking website. Critical underwater internet cable linked Finland to Germany. Okay, so this does affect Germany. Has been severed, sparking fears of Russian sabotage. The incident happened in the vicinity of the Swedish island of Gotland in the Baltic Sea early on Monday morning. A further cable was also found to be impacted later, according to Sina, the state-controlled Finnish company that manages the link. The second line runs almost 730 miles next to gas pipelines and power cables. Is it Cinia? Cinia said a repair ship has been sent to investigate the cause of the outage, which has hit the only cable connecting the country to Central Europe. So maybe it's a warning. You know, we'll do this one, but we'll do the other ones. But do it. Go for it. Yeah, how do you really feel? Exactly. Yeah, I bet. Is that what you believe, Dark Smile? That Ukraine should be hindered even further in defending itself? It should ask more permission of these creaky international institutions that are scared shitless? Is that it? Yeah? Will that fix the problem? Will that make Russia stop invading Ukraine? More arbitrary restrictions on defending itself? Wow, you're a fucking genius, man. Finland's communications agency said most internet users would not notice Monday's outage, with the country able to fall back on cables running through other parts of the continent. The company said that while there was no indication that the damage was sabotage, it was likely to have been the result of human activity. So there you go. This might be a warning. If it is a warning, they're not doing a very good job of kind of scaring everybody with this. So if it is a warning, it's really just for the international community. Chinese boat did it. I don't know who did it, but the company that manages the cable said it's highly, highly unlikely that Nemo the fish did it. That it was almost a guarantee. They haven't gone down there to confirm it, but they're like, it's almost a guarantee that it was human activity. Because we're not talking about an Ethernet cable, okay? We're talking about an incredibly robust cable. You have to use explosives, I believe, to cut it. I think. Not quite sure. But it ain't, you know, you're not going down there with a cable cutter and just going to town. You know what I mean? You need the proper equipment to slice through that son of a bitch. It's huge, big old trunk of fucking cables, you know? Telia cable from Lithuania, Sweden got cut. Yeah. Okay, so there's two cables cut. Not sure how. I feel like it was a cat. But no, I mean, yeah, it's, you know, are we really going to be run by individuals that see something like this and go, oh no, oh, be afraid, stop hurting us, Russia? Is that really who we're going to be managed by? A bunch of bitches who like, you know, get slapped by the school bully and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, here's my lunch money. And that's supposed to be patriotic. That's supposed to be big, tough alpha male stuff, right? From these Joe Rogan addicts. Well, that's the strong guy. That's the tough guy. That's why we got a strong man in charge, so we can be a total bitch and suck Putin's dick. Oh, that's the manly thing to do. No. Sometimes sucking a dick can be manly. Maybe I shouldn't do the anti-gay slurs. I'm trying to, you know, insult Russia. Two big guys, one guy sucking a dick. That's pretty manly, actually. Go watch some gay porno. Get back to me. Ukraine fired U.S.-made missiles into Russia for first time, officials say. So this is from the New York Times. Yes, sir. Ukraine's military used American-made ballistic missiles on Tuesday to strike into Russia for the first time, according to senior U.S. and Ukrainian officials, just days after President Biden gave permission to do so in a major shift in American policy. This is written by two guys, Mark Santora and Eric Schmidt. I think I've heard Eric Schmidt's name before. The attack came on the second day President Vladimir V. Putin lowered Russia's threshold for use of nuclear weapons, a long-planned move whose timing appeared aimed at showing the Kremlin could respond aggressively to Ukraine using American missiles to strike Russian territory. The Kremlin has throughout the war used the threat of deploying its nuclear arsenal to try to deter the West from providing more robust military support to Ukraine. On Tuesday, Russia's foreign minister Sergei Lavrov called Ukraine's use of ATACMS in the Bryansk region a signal that they want escalation, a reference to the U.S. and Western allies. So, I mean, that's front and center, right up front. No mention of North Korea in this, in between all this, all the stuff that the 3 paragraphs that I cut out. Be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. Oh, Putin said there's a red line. I mean, Putin's been drawing red lines this entire time like a child on a piece of paper. Oh, no, this, I changed the rules. I changed the rules. Oh, no, I win. I changed the rules. Danish Navy has surrounded a Chinese boat. Wait, what is that? Giant opponent that was over cables just before they were cut. Really? Any links would be helpful, Sir Smoke-A-Lot. Telia is internet company, I see. It's a signal that U.S. wants escalation is an everyday quote from Lavrov. Exactly, Bert. It's like, I mean, it's, you know, it's like Theo Vaughn came out of the fucking sewer like Rita Repulsa, and he's like, oh, wow, oh, Russia's threatening us with nukes. Oh, that's new. No, the fuck it isn't. Oh, I'm just a millionaire who platforms fascists. Oh, golly gee, shucks, I'm Theo Vaughn. I don't know any better, but I sure do think the villains need to win. Ukrainian officials and military analysts who have long cautioned that no single weapon will change the course of the war noted that the impact and the shift in White House policy will depend on the quantities of missiles being supplied. Yeah. Basically saying, yeah, we can't do this in 2 months, Joe. Thanks. Thanks, Joe. Legacy secured, Joe. The authorization came just 2 months before the return to office of President-elect Donald J. Trump, who has said he will seek a quick end to the war in Ukraine by, of course, giving up. Then a bunch of bullshit. I didn't finish reading the article because I'm a loser. This article was provided by Woke Patriot, a trusted and treasured member of the News Underground community. Make sure you check it out. If you want to read the rest of the article, it's right here. But, you know, we've already gotten an earful of the narrative here. It's a tit for tat, and Kremlin recognized that internally the rhetoric might be intimidating, but the actual plans likely won't change. Eric Schmidt, former Google CEO, now an AI weapons arm trader. Is that the same Eric Schmidt? The Google guy? That's where I've heard the name? Can't be the same guy. Gotta be different. Gotta be a different Schmidt. Billionaires don't. They hire people to write for them. They don't write articles. Hey, Dark Smile. Buddy, Trump won, okay? Yeah, we get it. Biden's old. Biden sucks. Trump won. You got your tyrant. You got your authoritarian. Now you're going to get exactly what the fuck you want. I know you're from Spain, so you didn't vote it, and you just think it's entertainment. But if you think Trump's tariffs aren't going to affect Spain, oh boy, you're a moron. If that's what you think. So if you think you just like kick back with your bowl of popcorn and eat, oh yeah, it's funny, man. America sucks. Oh, it's gonna hit you, honey. I guarantee you, the Spanish government is, you know, doing something with the U.S. dollar. Maybe it's holding it. Maybe it's using it, you know, in some way. U.S. to allow Ukraine to use anti-personnel mines against Russian troops. Austin. A bunch of pearl clutching about it, of course. I'm extremely pro. Are you being serious, Bert? Because I like you, but I'm going to ban you if you're being serious. No, different Eric. Not same spelling. Was just listening. I see. Trump supporters are not welcome here. They get the boot immediately. So please clarify, Bert. U.S. announces $275 million military aid package for Ukraine. How about you give them some of the shit that you've already promised, Joe? How about empty promises? 270. What do you think Trump's going to do when he gets? How much of that was actually sent over there? Cut it off. Oh well, yeah. Joe Biden's creaky leadership only meant that they were only able to send about $50 million worth of stuff. There's still about $225 million left. Cut it. We're not sending anything. And this isn't, by the way, these 275 million military aid. So once again, this is just shit from the warehouse. It's not like Iraq and Afghanistan where we're literally just lumping pallets of cash. I want my response, Bert. You're about to get fucking booted, dude. Where's my response? Yeah, Mr. Pro-Trump, huh? Get the fuck out of here. You're fucking not welcome here. I'm very pro-Trump. Fuck you, scumbag. Here's some footage of Odessa defending itself. Schultz does not want to escalate. Imagine that, Frankfurt or Berlin. Would you trust him to lead your country? The tweet just making fun of Schultz, right? Oh, escalation. Oh, escalation. We got to be really, really careful. We got to be super careful, guys. Meanwhile, Russia over here. Obliterate them. Obliterate everything. Kill everybody. Fucking blow them all up. I don't fucking care. Right? Yeah, pro-Trump people are not fucking welcome here. You're part of the fucking problem. Straight up, without a doubt. Especially now. In 2016, you could claim, oh, I'm doing it on a lark. Oh, he's not going to be that big a deal. This motherfucker promising to be the world's most disgusting tyrant. Getting in front of the mic, talking the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, I'm a strong supporter of Trump. Get the fuck out of my life and get the fuck out of my chat. Oh, you're the problem. You're the reason I support Trump is because you don't like free speech. You're not listening to my terrible opinions and terrible ideas and taking my shitty things seriously. No, if I was a politician speaking to my constituency, I would be a lot more careful about the words that I use. But I'm just some asshole in front of a microphone, and I say unequivocally, without a single shred of fucking shame, Trump supporters are scum! Oh, well, I'm stupid. I don't really know what I'm supporting, so you can't judge me. That's not fair. That's not fair. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Your stupidity, your naivete is dragging us into the fucking realm of fascism. Oh, well, he's got a mandate. He's got the popular vote. He's a barn burner. Now you look at he barely got the popular vote. He barely won. And by the way, the American electorate, the people that are actually voting, are not even representative of the totality of people in America who have completely checked out of politics. It's about half of the population actually shows up to vote. So these missiles being put to good use right away. Command, yeah, looks like a Baghdad birthday over there. That's an old school reference. Command post of Russia's North group of forces hitting Belgrade region, Ukraine intel, so they're hitting them hard. This video apparently is supposed to show that. I don't know, it just shows a bunch of fucking bullshit. I don't know. Some stupid red square. The idiot who took this, I'm going to make some money off this. I'm going to sell this to media. I'm going to put my watermark on it right in the center. It's immediately grayed out. Missiles were used and Russia still hasn't nuked. Anyway, surprise. Yeah, no, it's coming, blessed up kid. It's coming. Oh, be scared, be scared. Didn't you watch Joe Rogan and Theo Von? Shouldn't we be so scared? Isn't that the patriotic alpha male thing to do? Cup your balls and tuck yourself into a closet, piss your pants? Right? That's the American way now? That's the Trump way? That's the MAGA way? Am I getting something mixed up here? Let Russia win? That's the plan? Make a deal? Russia executes 5 more Ukrainian POWs in the Donetsk region in what is becoming all too fucking common. Russia has, Russia was happy to announce Oh yeah, no, we're telling our soldiers to kill POWs mercilessly. Barely mention. When's the last time you've seen, none of the news that we've mention any of this stuff? Oh, escalation. America's going to use a 2,000-pound bomb instead of a 1,000-pound bomb. Ukraine's going to get those bombs, and then it's going to get worse. It's going to be nuclear war. That's all you hear. That's all you hear, right? Dark Smile, you've confirmed yourself as a goddamn idiot. I don't even know why the fuck you're still here. Why are you wasting your time putting your fucking fart smelling ass opinions in my chat? Why? Why are you wasting your time and my time and everyone else in the chat's time to read your fucking nonsense? Why? About 2/3 of the voting eligible population turned out for 2020 presidential election. About 63% in 2024 of eligible voters voted. Okay, thank you for the stats. Over 50%. You want to be informed, huh? Well, stop doing this, okay? Start doing that. Russian army division hit by desertions of whole regiment, according to reports. Once again, further evidence that the Russian military is absolutely crippled. I can't even believe it, man. I can't believe Putin's strategy of waiting out the West is going to work. And Donald Trump is going to walk right into it. He's such a sucker. He's such a fucking sucker. Anybody who's looking at this, who has a brain in their head, would be like, well, I don't want to look like a bitch. I mean, I don't want to look like I'm capitulating to a weak dictator on his fucking knees. I don't want to do that. The best knowledge that we have since in terms of the pipeline, the last news that we have is that Germany has asked 2 Ukrainians to come into court to speak on the investigation. That's the last bit of news. I don't know who destroyed the pipeline. Germany doesn't know who destroyed the pipeline, but Germany obviously wants to know, truthfully, who actually did it. But no, I'm not going to be like Sir Smoke-A-Lot and just say it's the Ukrainians, because I believe in innocent until proven guilty, and just having a couple people show up or being asked to be part of an investigation doesn't prove anything. The way I see it, to be truthful though, and to strongman your argument, I will say that the party that had the most to benefit, I would say, would be Ukraine in cutting that pipeline. So just a strong man your argument, but I'm not comfortable saying Ukraine did it, Russia did it. I'm not comfortable saying that. Well, they're not the only one with a motive. U.S. had a motive, Russia had a motive, Ukraine had a motive, and there's some like fourth party operatives that might have had a motive as well. Dark Smile, I'm about to ban you. You're about to go. Yeah, the same Ukrainians that launched missiles into military targets into Russia the moment they were given permission to do so. Yes, that Ukraine. That is somehow supposed to indicate that they bombed the pipeline because they're defending themselves from an invasion. Oh, well, if they didn't do the pipeline, then they wouldn't be defending themselves. I know, because I'm a fucking moron. I'm actually shoving a rope totally up my ass so I can pull it out my mouth. That's impressive. Back to Russia's pathetic military. An entire regiment of more than 1,000 soldiers left the 20th Guards Motor Rifle Division of the Russian Armed Forces stationed in Volgograd amid rising tensions in the Russian-Ukraine war, according to Russia's investigative outlet iStories. Oh my God. Among those who deserted the division, also referred to as Shoniks, which translates to those who left their unit without permission, were 26 junior officers, a major, and 2 lieutenant colonels. Newsweek reached out to Ministry of Defense and Russia Federation for comment via email. Moscow is continuing to see high numbers of troops lost in battle as Kyiv reports that 724,000 dead and wounded. So we're going to probably hit 1 million by the end of this. The Hunt is a great movie, and yeah, it does a really good job of shitting on neoliberalism. Good Guy Dari. I second Good Guy Dari's recommendation, because it's kind of like The Dangerous Game, right? But they're all like pampered, rich elite. They wouldn't say the N word, but they'll they'll blast a poor person with a shotgun, that kind of stuff. You could just as easily say Ukraine would not do it because they would end all support from the West. Yeah, totally. So anyway, more evidence that, I mean, if the United States wanted to, we could give Russia everything it needs, or give Ukraine everything it needs to push Russia right back to its borders. And no, there wouldn't be a nuclear war. There'd be all kinds of foot stamping and threats and red faces and red lines. But at the end of the day, no one's gonna be pushing that fucking button, because they want to go home to a building that's still standing and a family that is still alive. We're not dealing with Russia, with Nazi Germany over here, right? The last days of Berlin. What if Hitler had a nuke? Yeah, we should put boots on the ground. Not directly, not to the front lines. American troops should be used to relieve Ukrainian troops that are currently guarding the northern and western borders of Ukraine. Replace those and allow those Ukrainian troops to fight on the front lines. But U.S. troops should be put boots on the ground to guard the border for Ukraine, and allow those men to be redeployed to the front. But that would take balls. That would take leadership. Oh, escalation. Meanwhile, motherfucking Putin bringing in North Koreans, man. Putting boots on the ground and not a single peep about escalation. Not a single fucking peep about escalation. A foreign country has joined the fucking fight. And what do you hear from Western media? What if we let Ukraine strike a couple more miles into Russia? Which one here? Is this the one where they're surrounded? Where is that? See if I can find it here. Oh, nope. Can't show that. Can't show that video. I might as well get that out. I better not show that. That is a warehouse filled with dead people. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't have any more videos to show you, and I got a bunch of other shit I gotta do. Drown and defeat. All right, let's get a map update. I have very big balls from my home. Okay, goodbye. Yeah, you're a fucking moron, and I'm absolutely done with you. You've spent far too much time in this chat stinking it up. Bye-bye. See, where's that? Is it this one right here? And where they're pinched off? Some crazy maneuver here. All right, let's get the latest map update from reporting from Ukraine.
Today there is a lot of news from the Seversk direction. Here, under mounting pressure to achieve promised results, Russian commanders launched a desperate final wave of armored vehicles to breach the Ukrainian stronghold around Ivano-Darevka. However, this move ended in such a disaster that the Russian generals were arrested and the whole Russian Seversk offensive was completely cancelled. After initial Russian attempts to storm the Ukrainian defensive positions on the hill ridge above Ivano-Darivka from the south led to heavy losses, Russian forces changed the vector of their attack to the northeast of the village, using the Lysychansk oil refinery as an operational base to gather forces, but again with no success. This renewed failure caused a backlash in Russian media, with prominent military analysts putting local commanders under heavy criticism and requesting their dismissal. With everything on the line, the responsible Russian command staff in the region.
So overall, you're confident in the Ukrainian position? No, of course not. Ukraine is very, slowly being pushed back. Ukraine does not have enough weapons, does not have enough resources. The West is not coming through. And then Donald Trump is coming up in a couple weeks to starve Ukraine even further, put them in a harder position, forcing them to capitulate, give up the Donbass, give up Kherson, and of course, give up Crimea. So no, I don't think I'm not confident in Ukraine's position. I'm confident in Ukraine's mission, which is a democracy that deserves to exist, that deserves to have its own autonomy, doesn't deserve to be invaded by a foreign country that's offended by its liberty. They are technically losing. They are losing ground. That is a fact. It is not a rout. But yeah, no, the hope is that the use of these ATACMS will loosen up some of these frontline positions, allowing Ukraine to, at the very least, stabilize a front line, just prevent Russia from moving further, maybe hopefully pushing back, but it's the winter, which is really, really, really difficult to fight in. So probably what they're hoping for is slow down, stop Russia, try to hold on to what they can, try to hold on to Kursk most especially as a bargaining chip, knowing that Trump is going to come in and starve Ukraine most likely. There's a slight chance that someone close to Trump will say, "Sir, just to let you know, you could actually spank Putin and be the guy that, be the make even sons of bitches like me praise him." Right? Hey, if you want to make all, some of your most ardent, strident haters change their mind about you, you could spank Putin right now while he's on his knees instead of helping him back up, and you could make history. That Zelensky would put up like 7 fucking Trump statues in Ukraine. You know what I mean? 100 fucking Trump casinos. You'd be tripping over Trump casinos on your way to Kyiv. So someone, maybe, but what is likely to happen because of Trump's deep, close relationship with Putin and the Russian government and the Russian oligarchs, he's going to completely capitulate and hand over everything. Are you aware that striking Russian territory will direct Western support and weapons technology is now considered by Russia? Yeah, I'm aware. Are you aware that the threat of nuclear weapons has been used since the very beginning of this conflict and even before? Why are you pretending that this is the first fucking time Russia has threatened nukes? Also, why are you pretending that Russia is not aware that their entire existence will go up in flames if they fire them? We're just supposed to, all of a sudden, the fucking Kremlin media narrative about, they're going to use the nukes, they're going to be and there's going to be no consequences except Russia wins. It's the instant Russia wins button. All of a sudden, that's the dominant narrative. Fucking how? How did this happen? Yeah, if a U.S. aircraft carrier is destroyed in an effort to help Ukrainian democracy, that's a tragedy, but that's a fight worth fighting. Democracy is worth dying for, you son of a bitch. Fighting for freedom and dying for it does not mean you're a sucker, like Trump says. It means you're a goddamn hero.
Region launched another wave of assaults in a desperate attempt to achieve some results, save their public image, and rescue their military careers. The new assault wave consisted of a turtle tank, multiple tanks equipped with smaller cages against FPV drones, and multiple infantry fighting vehicles. These vehicles used again the dirt road from the oil refinery to reach Ukrainian positions quickly, shortening reaction.
Man, I have one question for you to answer, and you need to answer it immediately. Is Russia justified in invading Ukraine?
Time for the defenders. Drone operators from the 4th Rapid Reaction Brigade Rubish of the National Guard of Ukraine have released a video showcasing the strength and preparedness of their regional defenses. The footage emphasizes the critical role of early detection in successfully repelling enemy assaults. Typically, drone reconnaissance units conduct continuous day and night surveillance across every sector of the front line. This persistent monitoring prevents surprise attacks and ensures swift, decisive reactions.
Okay.
An essential.
Wow. So I'm supposed to continue to waste my time having an argument with you, huh? Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You see how they waste your time? You see how it's a fucking game to them? They think it's cute. They think it's funny. Does it matter if he was for real? Does it matter? The goal is to waste your time. You cut them out of your life and you keep fighting. That's how it works. You don't sit around and wring your hands and listen to their arguments about free speech. Hatred, tyranny, authoritarianism doesn't deserve a fucking audience. You're not making salient points. This isn't a discussion. Okay? This isn't a fucking debate. Democracy is worth dying for. And Americans are going to be realizing just how important democracy is, after it's gone, after it's taken from them. Ukrainians get to experience this right now. It is their freedom and liberty is going to be ripped from them. And I'm not talking, oh no, now I got to use a different currency. Oh, how inconvenient. I'm talking a government telling you have to use a different language, telling your kids you have to learn a different language, you have to learn a different version of history, you're not allowed to protest. We'll send your ass to fucking Siberia if you protest. That's what Ukrainians have to deal with. And goddamn psyop crypto fascist idiots, useful idiots, want to waste your time. Oh, I think Russia should do a limited nuclear strike against the West. No, you fucking don't. And even if you do, you're ridiculous. Why do we have to listen to ridiculous people? Oh, that'll fix things. A limited nuclear strike. There's no such thing as a limited nuclear strike. Well, the U.S. did it. The U.S. was able to do it. Yeah, the end of World War II was a slightly different scenario than the one that we're in.
Factor in maintaining effective defense. Leading the Russian column was a heavily fortified turtle tank, outfitted with solid metal plating, additional protective cages, and electronic warfare systems,
they're such useful
all designed
idiots,
to ensure its progress to breach Ukrainian defenses. Images revealed the moment a Ukrainian FPV drone struck the tank. Despite being shrouded in smoke from the explosion, it pressed onward. The footage then shifts to the perspective of a kamikaze drone, bypassing the next tank in the column to focus on targeting the third vehicle. This tactic aimed to
100% Knighted Tomb. 100%. 100%. Look, the main reason, one of the reasons, I don't know if it's the main reason, but one of the reasons why these kind of lies are spreading is because people honestly don't understand the history of Russia. And like I didn't, before, Ukraine invaded, or sorry, before Russia invaded Ukraine, I didn't really understand just, the extent of hegemonic desire by Russia. I know that took a while to get out. I just needed to find the right kind of words, right? When you start looking into Russian history, you start to see a pattern. And seeing how Putin is acting, it's almost like the culmination of these Russian hardliners, all of their misperceptions, their inaccuracies, their historical inaccuracies, all of this, like it's all represented in Putin. If you understood how Russia has treated the countries around that surround them for centuries, if you understand that, you understand why it's ridiculous, how it's absurd to one, not push back against the Russian army, but also to capitulate to their threats. They're almost constant threats. But if you're not paying attention, right? If you're not really if you're a Theo Von and you're just dipping your toes into politics while you hang out with all your rich celebrity friends and spend all your money, it would seem like, whoa, bro, a really powerful, one of the top 3 most powerful countries is threatening to nuke us. And bro, the reason why they're doing that is because we're like dicking around in Ukraine for some reason. I don't know. I'm not really paying attention. Seems pretty simple to me. I don't live in Ukraine. Doesn't matter to me, dude. I don't live in the Donbass. And hell, bro, I heard from my buddy Joe Rogan that everyone in Crimea loves Russia anyway, dude. So what the heck? Right? So if you're not paying attention, it's so like the Russian narrative that's how you incept these ideas, and that's how you get these dum-dums, right? You make it seem logical. You make it seem 1 + 1 = 2. Well, Ukraine's corrupt. NATO pushed Russia too far. Russia retaliated against NATO and Ukraine. Zelensky's spending our money for no reason. It's a big waste of taxpayer dollars, right? And look at the price of eggs. Everything's more expensive, and we're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. It's 1 + 1 = 2. The moment we stop helping Ukraine, everything's going to get better for the United States, bro. Right? If you're not paying attention, oh, that's 1 + 1 = 2. That's just common sense and logic. How is Rogan so damn popular? Because the middle class, the middle and lower class, the working class has been totally abandoned by the liberal establishment. And they're left to pick up the pieces. And, Joe Rogan is a useful idiot telling people, what they want to hear. He's not even doing it intentionally. He's a fucking moron. He's just doing what feels right to him. That's how he can fully support the fascist agenda of Donald Trump in one sentence, and then in another sentence be like, oh man, it's really crazy that women don't have the right to an abortion. Wow. Oh man, smoking weed in a state where the goddamn governor is trying to illegalize it. The reason why people are flocking to Rogan is because there's no liberal Joe Rogan, right? Oh, I'll do it. Well, I'm too abrasive. Joe Rogan has a natural charisma. I'm not very charismatic. I'm shove a fucking knife through your forehead. That's what I am. I'm not exactly your best bud, right? But Joe Rogan's your buddy. Theo Von's your buddy. And there's no liberal alternative to that, right? We got a Vosh, we got a Destiny, we got a Hassan, and they all got, they don't get it. Need some weed and a wank. Homie, don't tell us you're fucking jerking it, okay? I know you're trying to be funny, but God, I don't like that. Fuck, man. I know, I'm an asshole today. Just ignore me. I'm sorry, Denmark. I'm sorry.
Maximize disruption and chaos within the Russian assault group, effectively
100% borderline feline. But that doesn't change the fact that Destiny believes might makes right, that the Israeli government is totally justified in defending itself, by destroying Palestine, literally laughing at dead Palestinians. Yeah, Promethean, and welcome back, by the way. That is always going to be the reality in a democracy. Democracies have always had to deal with people just like that. Go all the way back to the beginning of time. Even before democracies, right? It was like there were some serfs who understood what was going on. There were most serfs who don't know what the hell's going on, and they just want a warm bed to sleep in, filled with hay, whatever, straw. That's why the failure of this moment is on the Democrats, is on the neoliberal establishment, because they need to understand that it doesn't matter that you have a, some around the edges technocratic solution to some of these problems, and that technically the economy is actually on better, and technically unemployment is better. That doesn't matter if you don't have a narrative, and if you don't have the big idea, which is something I was screaming about at Kamala and Joe. Where's the big idea? Right? Oh, well, we're going to go after price gouging against grocery stores. Okay, that's something that maybe might be better in the future once you get in office years later, right? After the investigations and you're done wasting everyone's time. No, what are you doing day one, right? What was Kamala's day one promise? There wasn't one. There was no big idea. There was no narrative about how Kamala or the Democratic Party is going to help the working class. Because they abandoned those narratives decades ago. Decades ago, once they had success with Clinton's, move to the center strategy. It's been like that ever since the 90s, at least ever since the 90s, ever since Carter, right? Since the 70s. It's been move to the center, move to the right, move to the right. Oh, they've done it so successfully, they're now the party of the rich elite, the neoliberal establishment. In a democracy, there will always be people who are taken in by slogans, who are taken in by carnival barkers. That's why, as a politician, your responsibility is it's on you to inspire them. That's why rhetorical skill is so important. That doesn't necessarily mean lie to people, but it does mean that you need to understand the game that you're playing, and you need to be very selective and very careful about the rhetoric and how you're using it, how you're shaping your narrative. And yeah, it needs to be mass appeal. It needs to be mass appeal, and Kamala Harris was not mass appeal. Candace Owens, look, I'm not a fan of Candace Owens, but to be perfectly fair to Candace Owens, she seems to be the person to go to now when you want to criticize both sides. I mean, Nick Fuentes is a fucking Nazi. He's a Nazi. So yeah, I mean, I'd rather listen to a sewer gurgle than Nick Fuentes speak. My country is going to give a big piece to Russia, and Ukraine. We're not going to stop fighting. I feel you, Lunar. I really do.
Hindering their
clutch cargo, and all of that was kind of great. Maybe it'll affect some people. Maybe it affect some people, and save some people, get some money, and that's great. Technically, clutch cargo, Kamala was way better on paper than Donald Trump. Technically, right? But it was about that day one stuff, right? Kamala Harris need to come out, and the liberals refuse to do this because they want to set expectations. They don't want to make promises that they know that they're not going to keep when they get in there, because they're there to serve the rich. They're there to destroy the progressive movement. They're not there to give you, the middle class, a fucking tax cut. So they're not going to promise that shit. And that's the problem. Trump will lie to you up and down. Oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. Everything's going to be so great. You won't believe it, right? He'll lie up and down, right? Use populist rhetoric. And lie. And the neoliberals say, well, no, we're not going to do any of that, but technically we are going to do this. And, things are going to... No, what Kamala need to have the big idea. A vote for Kamala means higher wages. A vote for Kamala means lower taxes. A vote for Kamala means lower prices at the pump. Lower something. Day one, this is what's happening. Right? So day two of Kamala's presidency, things are already getting better. That's what the neoliberals needed. They've needed that with Hillary. They needed that with Biden. They needed that with Kamala. They need all these people, right? Barack Obama was able to make you feel good saying nothing, right? Just literally whispering fucking sweet nothings into your ear, promising hope and change, not being specific about anything. Meanwhile, he implements a extremely conservative agenda, right on par with Richard fucking Nixon, and he was happy to admit that. Meanwhile, he's dropping drone bombs, right? But did life get better? Things just got more expensive. Like under Obama, right? Did things really feel like everything felt like it got more expensive? Everything felt like it got more unfair. Corporate America got more, and the American public got fleeced yet again. It's like, well, technically the economy was okay, and certain people in certain demographics actually came out better. Yeah, technically. Americans, especially now, they don't want stability as much as they want radical change. That has a lot to do with the demographics turning younger and younger, right? Boomers dying out, young people who have, seen nothing but, Bill Clinton and Mitt Romney and George Bush and Donald Trump and Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, all these corporate failures that have done absolutely nothing for them. They want transformative radical change. And it's not just young people, of course, that, this is a trend that goes across all the demographics. And that's why Americans are willing to listen to an orange rapist who says, I'm going to make everything better magically, because they just magically want things to get better. That's not their fault. That's human nature.
Advance. The turtle tank
Yeah,
and the
Promethean,
second tank
yeah.
pressed forward alone, leaving the rest of the convoy.
And the Dems have learned nothing. I'm sorry to pause the video once again. The Dems have learned fucking nothing from this. Joe Scarborough, and I'm seeing the narrative in my chat, for God's sakes. Oh, we move to the left, move to the left. No, actually, I take that back. That was a misinterpretation of what Dirty Crickets in the Discord. I take that back. Sorry, DCH. That was my own misinterpretation. But no. We have, we see the narrative. It's already, progressives did this. I mean, it's almost impossible to make that argument because the progressives so successfully got out of the way. Bernie Sanders, AOC, anybody slightly to the left of the DNC got way out of the way, right? They're like, okay, fine. Look, normally we'd raise a big stink, but we understand this is dangerous. Okay, we're gonna let you give Biden another shot. Bernie was, making the news. Oh, Biden's not that bad. Biden's not that bad. So what I'm trying to say is that the neoliberal establishment has learned absolutely nothing. The consultants are going nowhere. And in a couple months, it's going to be, oh, well, it was Bernie's fault, or, they'll solidify around some kind of narrative, right, to blame. And it's going to be like, well, you have to vote blue no matter who. It's the most important election. Okay, what are you promising? Well, more corporate status quo shit that might help some people in some demographics, but not you directly, probably. Great, okay. But we're not Trump, it's going to, because they're expecting, right, another Biden situation, right, where things are so bad at the end of the 4 years that, we don't have to promise anything. We don't have to change our party. We don't have to change anything. We just offer up the same Hakeem Jeffries slop, and they'll lap it up because they're going to be desperate. I've said this before. I'll say it again. There's not going to be a fucking election in 2028. Everyone, all that rhetoric's out the window, right? Because now we want hope. Now we want, oh, well, it's not really the end of America. Bitch, this is the end. This is the end. We're going to get a little taste of it in the midterms. Okay, you don't believe me? Come check with me in 2 years and see, because the conservative AG, Matt Gaetz, if it isn't Matt Gaetz, it's going to be some other tyrant that totally agrees with Trump, some partisan, right? But he's just not as sleazy. He didn't show his fellow guys pornography, right? Hey, watch me fuck this 17-year-old. Like they weren't all into it, by the way. Oh, let me see. Oh, I want to see. Oh, that's gross, bro. I don't want to see that. Oh, it's sinful. So no, what's going to happen is in 2 years, in the midterms, Republicans are going to use every trick in the book to make sure it's gerrymandering, all of it, testing the constitutionality of all these rules. It's all going to go either, to conservative judges, or the conservative Supreme Court. So everyone will vote. Oh, it's more important than ever. Donate to the Democrats. I'm Nancy Pelosi here to tell you got to donate to the Democrats. But no matter how bad things get moving forward, no matter how shitty the Republicans are, for some reason they always win. They just will always win elections moving forward. So yeah, you'll be voting. Yeah, there'll be an election. But it is going to take a massive movement of people in the streets, physically protesting, physically putting themselves in front of the U.S. military and U.S. police by the millions. It's not going to be just a couple 100,000. It's going to need millions across the nation, full-on labor lockdown protest. We're not working another minute to change the direction that we're going in. Isn't it funny, right? It was all the end of democracy. Even literally, TYT, their election coverage literally had the White House on fire. Their little logo in the bottom left saying, the end of America, the final U.S. election. Then Trump wins, and it's all like, oh, we'll get him in 4 years. I get, it's a trauma response. Honestly, it's a trauma response. It's self-delusion. Humans deluding themselves into thinking, well, it's not going to be that bad. Well, you got TYT over here talking about, oh, well, he's, technically he's a maverick, and technically he might do this, and technically he might do that. TYT just, it's not like they're right wing, but it's just, it's a trauma response. It's a cope. It's a cope. MSN is busy, of course, blaming liberals, blaming progressivism for Kamala's loss, and strangely also blaming Joe Biden, which is cute. Anyway, let's finish this video.
Way behind. Ukrainian drone operators quickly deployed additional FPV drones, inflicting further damage on the turtle tank and eventually bringing it to a halt.
You see, Clutch Cargo, that what you define as progressivism was not at all. And, even though that the Trump administration, that the right wingers were drilling the neoliberals on trans rights, they and immigration, they Israel as well. I mean, think about it. For trans rights, they didn't have a single trans person speak for them. They didn't have any trans people. They were completely ignoring trans people. The Kamala Biden administration, right? They didn't say trans people aren't human, but it's not like they come out and said we're super proud of our support of trans people. So they capitulated to that. They capitulated, just to go down your comment here. Arguing to give prisoners sex changes. I mean, that and being soft on Israel. So they were they let Israel do whatever the hell that they wanted, and they still get hit being soft on Israel. Oh, you're so pro-Hamas, letting Israel kill children every single day without consequence, right? They were totally on board for the right-wing immigration plan, bragging about how we wanted the Republican plan. That's the one that Joe Biden put up, and then you guys shot it down. So this idea that progressivism hurt the Kamala campaign, and while they were actively trying to reject progressivism every step of the way, they were trying to push themselves and distance themselves from progressivism. That's still going to be the argument, huh? Well, that's what Trump ran on. Trump also, the most important message from Trump was economy. The economy's bad. I'm going to make economy good. Economy bad, economy good. Here's some terrible suggestions that'll make the economy completely terrible. Wow, thank you. Vote for him, guys. He's going to make the economy way worse. Right? That's, of course, they didn't think that, but they think it's going to be all great. All they need to do is cherry pick a few quotes from when she was trying to get attention during the primaries and played them in swing states. If anything, Republicans mentioning how progressive Kamala Harris is probably helped her. This was not the fault of Trump and the conservative talking points, the ridiculous conservative talking points against her. They were weak from the start and desperate. The problem was the neoliberal establishment not putting up any message to the working class that they were going to help them out. All right, the closest that Kamala got was saying she was going to go after price gougers, for grocery stores and stuff. That doesn't necessarily mean prices are going to go down. What is that? It's a hearing. That's an investigation. That's not a promise that prices are going to go down. That's not a subsidy. That's not a tax break. That's like, well, maybe down the line, after some months, after an investigation, maybe prices might go down. Not good enough. That's as close to the working class as Kamala and Biden got. But the idea that she lost because conservatives were calling her a communist and conservatives were calling her pro-trans and we need a guy. So according to you, Clutch Cargo, we need a liberal that's never gone in front of a microphone and said LGBTQ people are humans. And they deserve rights just like the rest of us. Oh, well, there you go. Woke. Oh, you're going to get called woke by the right, and then you're going to lose another election. Is that really the direction the left needs to go in? Shoving LGBTQ people back in the fucking closet so we can win elections again? Is that really the problem?
This forced the crew of
Michelle
the second
Obama
tank
ain't
to
running
change
for president.
direction, turning it
She's
sideways.
got too much money to
A
spend.
risky maneuver that soon proved disastrous as Ukrainian forces enhanced the dense minefields in the area. As a result, the second tank struck a mine and erupted in a spectacular explosion. Moments later, another tank advancing from the rear met a similar fate, exploding after being hit by a drone strike. The Ukrainians then focused on the rear of the column, launching simultaneous drone strikes that highlighted their operators' skill and the Russian convoys' unpreparedness. In the video's final moments, they showcased the destruction of the remaining enemy vehicles, including the abandoned turtle tank.
You know, and 1,000, it's hard, we hear these numbers, right? Oh, 1,000 a day, hundreds of tanks and vehicles a day. And it's like, oh, okay, whatever, it's like, no, but I guess you got to be there. I guess, you really got to be there, or at the very least, like me, you have to see, you have to seek out this information and look and see what it's like. But if you could see the strength of the Ukrainian military, how powerful they are, even with what they have, what they've done to the Russian military, your only conclusion would be, give these guys what they need. Give them what they need to finish this. Yeah. Yeah, we don't need any more evidence that Russia is, the Russian government, the Russian military are barbaric. And the Russian people are cowed. It's complicated, right? Because once you've had your democratic rights stripped away, once your government says, I will literally throw you into a labor camp if you protest against us, it's kind of hard to have an opinion, as a citizen of that country. With that said, they're not rising up, the Russian people. Just like the United States, the people in the United States, they're not going to be rising up against Trump, not until things get really, really bad. They're going to let Trump just piss all over the Constitution. That doesn't matter. Are eggs cheaper? No, they're not cheaper, but excuses. Oh, okay, well, Use those ads to define Harris regardless of what she wanted to be present. They ran 24/7 in swing states because they work. Clutch Cargo, once again, no, the message that the reason Kamala lost, when you walk up to Trump supporters and ask them, oh, what was the main reason why you voted Trump? Economy, then all that other shit later. The trans stuff and immigration, that doesn't really affect me, that stuff. Economy, though, it's mainly the economy. And you're talking about how, these ads ran 24/7. The Trump ads, it was like one Trump ad and then 3 Kamala ads. She outspent Trump everywhere across the board. So, once again, I think it was a total waste of time to try to go after her about the trans acceptance and the sex change, a prisoner getting a sex change while in prison. That kind of stuff, because the most effective message was the economy. Things are too expensive, I'm going to make them cheaper. That's what really worked. The whole painting her as a communist, progressive, pro-trans person, that is not why she lost. That is not why she lost. If Trump was running those ads and Kamala came out with a pro-working class message of I'm gonna day one lower your taxes. I can't get the Congress to do anything, but I'm gonna pass an executive order that for 1 year Americans of a certain tax bracket and below are gonna get a massive break day one. That kind of shit. Populism, not technocratic solutions that help out some people maybe sometime in the future. Hope and change, joy. Right? People wanted radical substantive change. They wanted it day one. And boy, they're going to get it now. Oh, boy.
Following this third major setback, outcries from Russian military bloggers grew so intense that the Russian Ministry of Defense was compelled to arrest and remove several high-ranking officers within the 3rd Combined Arms Army overseeing this sector of the front line.
It doesn't matter. feline.
Among those dismissed were the Army's commander, the Chief of Staff, and the commander of the 7th Motorized Rifle Brigade.
The thing that's most important about the conclusion of the election is that Trump did not win in a landslide. He actually only got 6 more points. He only got 6 more electoral college points than he did when he beat Hillary. He won the popular vote by like a couple 100,000 votes or something, less than 1 million votes. You know, he's barely squeaked across the finish line when it comes to the popular vote. So that's the thing that to me, that's the most important like takeaway, you know, of in terms of a rebuttal to like, well, we have a mandate and the American people want this. And it's like, well, no, you basically won along party lines. Give or take a few points, you know, give or take 5 points or so, 5 or 6 points. Nitrogen, you might want to check the numbers. Can you go ahead and do me a favor, double check the numbers and get back to me? Because that 2 million was accurate a couple weeks ago, but the votes aren't even done being counted in California, and that number has actually shrunk quite a bit.
They were charged with submitting false reports to their superiors and
that it really
orchestrating
matters,
poorly conceived assaults near Severus.
I mean, it does matter because the Republicans are going to say all this pain and suffering. This is what, you know, just like what the Tories did with Brexit, right? This is a mandate. This is a mandate. This democracy chose. This is democracy in action. Everyone chose. Everyone wanted an authoritarian dictator who's going to, you know, use the justice system as a tool to, you know, enrich himself. That's what everyone wanted. Last updated, Kamala 48, so 64,000, 60. Okay, so that's around 2 million. Okay, thank you, Nitrogen. All right, so 2 million. But yeah, as you can see there, it's not exactly the, you know, because like look at, you know, Nitrogen. Can you go ahead and give me the numbers for Ronald Reagan's win? That's a blowout, right? That's a mandate. That's a mandate. This, you know, this is a solid win. A solid win. Not exactly a barnstorming mandate from all of America to destroy our democracy.
This series of failures resulted in hundreds of Russian casualties, with many wounded soldiers dying on the battlefield without evacuation, while Ukrainian strongholds remained intact and their defenders with no losses. Sources within the Russian military revealed that authorities also removed the commanders of several unnamed battalions and are investigating the 6th and 123rd Motorized Rifle Brigades of the same army group for concealing losses and misrepresenting the situation in this sector. Interestingly, the Russian military command initially ignored the outcry from analysts and bloggers. Acting on reports from local commanders, they visited a settlement in the region, believing it had already been captured by Russian forces, only to discover this was not the case. To cover up their mistake, the officers on the ground staged interviews with war correspondents.
Yeah, Nitrogen, yeah. That's a mandate, right? That's a blowout. You know, that's like okay, that's what America wanted. But yeah, it doesn't matter really, you know, because it's like, triggered liberal, doesn't, you're saying it's not a blowout. It was, that's what I believe. You can't, you know, facts over feelings over facts. That's my new reality, right? We have a mandate to piss on everything. We have a mandate to destroy the country. That's what Americans wanted. They wanted Milei, right? We want Argentina. That's what we all wanted. We wanted Milei with this chainsaw. See, that's a mandate. It's like, well, no, not technically true, but it doesn't really fucking matter because they're gonna, you know, they're gonna drag the whole country into it regardless of what people actually wanted. Thank you very much, Nitrogen, for looking up those numbers. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm fired up. Gonna hunt me some MAGA wabbits. No, let's not flirt with any kind of political violence. Kissing Gonzo. Come on, we're better than that.
To back up their false reports.
MAGA controls the presidency.
This only fueled further outrage among high commands once the deception came to light.
The worst case scenario.
Overall, Ukrainian defenders near Seversk have once again demonstrated the strength and effectiveness of their well-structured multi-layered defense by destroying another Russian assault group.
Yeah.
The heavy losses in the region have steadily increased tension within the Russian military command, which had already begun suspecting local officers of falsifying reports.
It's just random.
With the latest wave of assaults, coupled with the arrest and removal of commanders from the 3rd Combined Arms Army, Russian forces and their command structure are now in disarray, and the Seversk offensive suspended. This turmoil offers you...
Yeah, I mean, if you were the conservative movement, why wouldn't you try to secure the media at this point? You know, why wouldn't you try to just shut that final segment down? Really? I mean, because that's, you know, that's about, I mean, how many other hurdles do they have to their, you know, complete and total control over America? It's one of the few, you know, ironically, right-wing billionaires have already captured the media, but they're just not MAGA enough. You know, they're just not MAGA enough. So force these guys, you know, who still support the neoliberal establishment, the big Biden backers, right? Just force those guys to sell, or, you know, force them off the air one way or the other. Why not? Why not? They, you know, all you need is an FCC that's willing to be totally corrupt and partisan, and that's what Trump has. French mass rape case, what the hell?
Ukrainian forces a great opportunity to strengthen their defenses, improving their position for the near future. If you're against the invasion of...
Yeah, no, this is a wild story, Chem Goblin. This is a totally fucking wild story. If you've never heard of this one, this was totally nuts out of France. By the way, big props once again to reporting from Ukraine for all of their hard work, their steadfast, consistent, partisan, you know, positive leaning coverage of the Ukraine situation. Make sure you do give reporting from Ukraine a like and subscribe, folks. Help them out. But yeah, this story is totally wild. This husband was routinely drugging his wife, knocking her out with some kind of drug, and he told a bunch of guys, he had like a whole like network of dudes that he told, oh, she's really into, she's like a super kinky freak, and she loves to get raped while she's unconscious. She's really, really into it. She gets really off on it. So this guy who's drugging his wife got a bunch of, you know, guys convinced that she's really into it. I think that's what he was saying to them. And they would just, you know, for like years, I think for years it was happening. You know, I don't know how truthful she's being, because I mean, you can, you know, I don't mean to be graphic here, but you can tell when you've had a lot of sex, you know, and you're like, oh wow, I drank some tea, I got sleepy, and all of a sudden I wake up, my vagina and asshole are incredibly sore. Gee, what's happening? So I don't know what the whole story is. Right? Who knows how truthful it is? But either way, it's absolutely disgusting. It's just beyond disgusting. Tensions at the French mass rape trial burst into the open on Wednesday when Dominique Pellicot's daughter, Caroline, shouted at her father from across the courtroom that he would die alone like a dog. Carolyn Darren, 45, has repeatedly said she is convinced her father drugged and abused her after semi-naked photos of her asleep were found on his laptop. So that's his daughter. That's his daughter. So he was doing it with her too. He has denied abusing her, but has admitted to drugging his wife, Giselle, for a decade and recruiting men online to rape her in their home when she was unconscious. I mean, yeah, I mean, a gross violation of basic human decency. I mean, the worst of the worst. Scum of the scum. Derailed the stream to my own detriment. Yeah, I know, right? Well, my coverage isn't going to be saving Ukraine, and that's just a goddamn fact. You know, God help the Russian government and Putin if I was ever put in any kind of position of power. Because talk about day one. Talk about escalation. Oh, they'd be fucking howling. Dominic Pellicot and 50 other men have been on trial since September, and a verdict is expected on the 20th of December. During an emotional day in court in Avignon, Giselle Pellicot's lawyers gave their closing arguments describing the historic nature of the trial and paying tribute to her courage in waiving her anonymity to bring the mass rape trial into the open. So she had to, you know, she has to go through that. And could you imagine? You got to sit on the stand and you got to, you know, talk. You got to listen. You got to listen to all these guys who like raped you and I didn't do it. Or a couple of the guys have straight up stone cold admitted it, saying that they were fooled by the husband. But she had a choice to be like anonymous and not have to be drugged through the court. But that would make her case harder to prove, right? So she chose no. I want these people to be punished. I want my husband to be punished. I want this in the open. I'm going to suffer through this for women in the future. So she's a total hero for choosing to do that. And I just couldn't imagine the trauma. Couldn't imagine the trauma. So if you want to know, whoops, that's the wrong button. If you want to know more about this article, here it is right here from the BBC. I think you'd be more careful. I think you'd be more careful than you think. Well, I would be very specific about the rules. I'd be very specific about obviously no civilian targets. Yeah. Talking about what I would do if I was in charge, but there'd be U.S. boots on the ground, relieving Ukrainian positions along the Ukrainian border on the north and the west. There would be American F-16s in the air. There would be overwhelming support of our entire military industrial complex, providing them with as much ammo and equipment that they could possibly need. None of this, appropriations. It would be an Israel situation, right, where we open up a permanent line of support, a consistent and constant line of support, and we promise that support until the job is done. We don't say, well, in a couple of years, maybe we'll take a look and see. No, we say until this fucking job is done, until every Russian soldier is out of Crimea. And then you leverage, and then I would leverage every ounce of my international power to get the rest of the European community in line to do the same thing. But yeah, no, I wouldn't, nuke them, nuke them all, nuke the whales, fuck the whales. I'm sure I could do it. I'd either break or go after the people in court. I'm not sure if you could do it. Yeah, I feel the same. It's like, yeah, because she has to, all 50 of these men, she has to see and listen to, and, she has to be in fucking court with, it's incredibly traumatizing. So obviously I have a lot more Ukraine stuff here lined up. We'll get to it. I have, I got other shit I got to do. I know I suck. I know I'm the worst. I'm terrible at this. Vosh is on the fucking stream every single goddamn day. Hassan's doing it every single fucking day. I can barely find time for a couple hours in the middle of the week outside of the Saturday stream. Wow, she's braver than you make out. She waived an anonymity to permit her rapist to be named and to force the case into the public discourse, not because it favored her case. No, that is great. Good stuff. Absolute hero. Cats all the way down. Giselle Pelquat, quote from The Guardian, quote, "When I woke the next morning, my head was banging so hard it was unbelievable and my body felt battered. He was lying next to me with no clothes on. I just couldn't work out how we ended up there." And that's, he was doing this for 10 years. So obviously it wasn't every single day. So she's like, oh man, I had one of my spells again where I went to sleep and I woke up all sore and beaten up. I think it was early on that we didn't really care what happens to Ukraine. We just wanted to take the opportunity to bleed Russian power. It worked. It could have worked a lot better, though, Clutch Cargo. Because if anything, you could make the argument that Russia has strengthened, even though its military is weakened, its economy is weakened now. But, Russia being allowed to pick itself up, it's made all these new alliances, it's made all these new connections. If anything, you could say that allowing Russia to win and not pushing them back and punishing them is going to create a much stronger BRICS alliance that is, of course, challenging the dollar. Yeah, borderline feline is probably gaslighting her the whole time. Oh, yeah, I know. You got really wheezy and, something's weird. I put you in bed. Who's your audio guy? A Russian telling you it's too loud? Jeez, if it gets any quieter, I won't be able to hear you. Really? I mean, I'm peaking. I'm almost peaking here. Quiet. Really? There must be some kind of filter or something that I have going on that is lowering my volume or something. Because if you could see what I'm seeing, I'm almost hitting the red, dog. Audio sounds fine to me. Yeah, am I being gaslit? Some people say that, though. No, some people say that. And then other people say audio seems fine to me. Okay. You know, I saw a really funny meme in Destiny's chat. It was him trying to figure out to adjust his audio appropriately for male voices and stuff. Volume in, and he was like, ah. See if I can find that. Dalaban Reddit. It's because I totally felt like it's like I get it. Yes, I hate these stupid memes. By the way, most of these are absolutely ridiculous. Oh, Destiny. Oh, he's like the driver. Oh yeah, he's so cool. He's so edgy. Meanwhile, okay, I can't find it. Who cares? Meanwhile, he's doing everything he can to try to get Hassan banned. He's such a bitch. You should be louder than quiet. Okay, I will. All right, just for you, I'm going up to. There we go. I clicked it up a notch. All right, here officially. This is officially one notch up. Is that any better? Testing. Dick and balls. Testing. Dick and balls. Are the Chinese the real winners of the Ukraine war? You know, that's turn it up to 11. You know, that's actually a really poignant thing to ask there, Clutch Cargo, because yeah, I think especially if the dollar is weakened. If the dollar is weakened, then absolutely. Dick and balls, I concur. All right, folks, that's what I got for you today. Sorry, I'm leaving. Sorry, I suck. I know. Brother, you need to take some time and work it out on stream. Real talk. Work out, not on stream. Real talk. What? I need to stream less? Really? No. Do you know? Okay. No. But no, folks. Yeah, we're closing it up. Likely, no. We're saying you should figure out the audio while off stream. Oh. Okay. Sorry. Fuck, man. You know how hard it is? It's actually really hard. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Let's not forget the solution to all these problems. It's political activism, nonviolent, direct political action. It's a 3-step program. It's actually pretty simple. You too can start changing the world. Step 1, inform yourself. You're here, so you're doing that. Step 2, put your name down, sign up for an organization, volunteer. And step 3, put in the work like the fascists have done. I mean, it's worked out pretty well so far for the fascists. Charlie Kirk putting in overtime. Steve Bannon putting in overtime. And look where they're at, on the fucking top. Imagine what liberals could do, what lefties, progressives could do if we actually worked as hard as the fascists did. I have to turn up my headphones. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a look and turn everything else down. Okay. I'll take another look at my filters and compressor and all that, and I'll see what I can do. Man, fuck Nick Fuentes. My God, I swear to God, I think I get uncomfortable feelings of joy thinking about. Never mind. I'm gonna get my ass in big trouble on Twitch here. Fuck Nick Fuentes. We'll just say that. Imagine what we leftists might accomplish if we weren't undermined and restricted by the. Yeah, woke patriot. Wham, wham, wham. You know, I don't mean to. Welcome. Sorry, you caught the tail end of the stream, but I don't mean to undermine what you're saying. But that's never going away. We need to accept that and embrace that. Eat it for lunch. Right. This is the challenge that we must face. Right? I'm ready to destroy the neoliberal establishment just as much as I'm ready to destroy the neoconservative, fascistic right-wing movement. And I'm ready to take on that challenge. That's the attitude needed. Not, oh, well, things are pretty tough, and I don't think that, I'm not saying you were saying this, right, woke patriot, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's tough. We got a mountain to climb. The mountain's right in front of us, right? So do we keep talking about how tall this mountain is, or do we get to climbing? That's my mentality, and I'm not saying that you were, trying to say anything less, but you're just pointing out the reality. It's an incredible challenge for progressives, because we're not only are we up against the right-wing fascists that are happy to put a billy club through our forehead, but we're up against scummy, slimy, the neoliberal establishment that is constantly trying to undermine the progressive movement every step of the way. Every step of the way. You make this politics stuff look easier and natural, brother. I hope you go mainstream and hold your line. Well, if I hold my line, I'm guaranteed to not go mainstream, and that's okay. Would I love a mainstream audience? Absolutely. I wouldn't change a goddamn thing. But the reason why I will never be mainstream is because I say things that make people uncomfortable about themselves. I challenge people to challenge themselves. I don't tell them what they want to hear all the time. A lot of people say that I'm a truth teller. I don't tell people what they want to hear. Then they immediately get on the mic and tell fucking neoliberals exactly what they want to hear. David Pakman. We need to dress up in trash bags to face ourselves in the streets, but the left equivalent isn't that. Whatever it takes. I kind of agree. Right? Like, we obviously, maybe don't embarrass ourselves in that way, but that devotion, that slavish devotion, we need that. Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Knighted Tomb, Never Forget Brother, Clutch Cargo, Borderline Feline, Woke Patriot, Chem Goblin, Kissing Gonzo, Roger and Out, Clutch Cargo, I already said it, but thank you for coming in. Promethean, Simply Steve. You guys are amazing. Thank you for coming back. All you lurkers out there, everybody just tuning in. Cats all the way down. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Everybody that's coming in, thank you so much. It's you guys are the reason why this is a fun chat. As much as I try to make it as unfun as possible, you guys are the reason why it's fun to be here. So thank you. Nitrogen, thank you for coming in. New viewer of Nitrogen. Your boy Chem Goblin in Ukraine. Somehow we're gonna make it happen, Chem Goblin. I don't know. Somehow. Lunar, thank you for coming in. Lunar, big props. Steve the John, hoping that I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong too, Steve. Yeah. Boy, you'll never meet a guy that that wants everything that coming out of his mouth to be total bullshit. You've never met a guy that wants that so bad as me. Like, God, that would be it would be a dream come true. Where I just realize, all my cynical worldview is totally inaccurate. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. America's got this in the bag. Donald Trump's a real populist, and he's going to fix the economy, and Russia, Ukraine's going to get sorted out, and Israel's justified in what it's doing. God. Boy, it almost sounds like bliss. It almost sounds like bliss. Wow, I'm totally wrong about all that? Wow, no kidding. So it's really not as bad as what I'm saying. I'm being hyperbolic, and big props to Sir Smoke a Lot. Boeing stuff. Thank you for coming back, guys. Blessed Up Kid. Borderline Feline. Big props to Borderline Feline. I'm good at timing. Sorry, Big Room. Yep, taking off for today, but we'll be back on Saturday. Hitting it hard on Saturday. Maybe a Thursday stream. No, Friday. Friday stream. I won't be able to stream tomorrow, but I'll try to get one in Friday. Probably Gaza. It'll be Gaza related. And then Saturday, of course, you can guarantee. You have that in common with climate scientists. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Lobotomy could help. Oh, boy, a lobotomy would be something else. You going to go play MGS3 now? I'm going to go play MGS3. Great choice. I'll probably play a little Scum. Yeah, the links thing isn't working? Okay, whatever. No one wants to sign up to my shit. No one fucking cares. Thank you, Chem Goblin. We do have a Discord. If you want the Discord link here, but no one wants it. Come on, no one fucking wants this crap. Hold on. Let me get it for folks so no one could do it. But if you do want to join the Discord, it's a great opportunity for you to participate in the stream. You can put links in the politics section. I'll check them out, make them part of the stream possibly. I always appreciate your help and always appreciate everyone's POV. Unless you're a, useful idiot conservative that wants to spread a bunch of lies and waste everyone's fucking time, then you get fucking flushed. I'm happy to have discussion with honest conservatives. I just have a really big problem finding one. Same thing for neoliberal MSNBC fucking wine moms. Oh, Kamala ran a historic campaign and Joe Biden wasn't so bad and I'm with her and fuck you. Peace in that motherfucking Middle East and glory to the Ukrainian democracy. God help us all. Don't knock it till you try it. Did Morning Joe kiss the ring? Did Morning Joe kiss the ring? They did a fucking interview at Mar-a-Lago, okay? They did an interview at Mar-a-Lago. Oh, well, we don't disagree on everything, but at least we're opening up dialogue. Oh, that's where Morning Joe's at. Peace out. Fucking Morning Joe. Take care of yourself, y'all. We'll see you on Friday, possibly Friday, definitely Saturday. Take care of yourself. Yeah, Clutch Cargo, you do. This is a good song. Shin Miyagami Tenshi, folks. Shin Miyagami Tenshi. South Day Vibe. Hood OG. We'll see you at the next one. Thank you. Thank you for being here.